Archangel Michael says, "Was your picture ever taken without you knowing? Have you ever felt strange right after someone asked for a photo of you? Did an old image of yours randomly show up somewhere, and something shifted in your life right after? This is not paranoia. This is prophetic. I speak now because your photo has crossed into realms it was never meant to enter. Someone used your face in a spiritual transaction. They handed it over, not just to a person, but to a force. And with it, they traded something sacred that belongs to you. Peace, favor, clarity, health, or even a connection to someone divinely assigned to your life. You've wondered why things started falling apart after a certain moment. You've felt that cold stillness in your room at night. You've seen faces change, felt eyes watching, and brushed it off. Don't brush this off. This is the moment of divine confrontation. You are not supposed to skip this message. You are not supposed to scroll away. If you do, what was traded will solidify, and I will not be allowed to reverse it. This is spiritual law. I, Archangel Michael, have drawn my sword. I have surrounded your home. But even my sword requires your awareness. What was done in secret can only be undone in surrender. And that begins right now. There are names, locations, dates, and voices that will begin resurfacing the moment you read further. Because heaven is not silent. I am here. And if you've been seeing the number 999, it means this cycle is ready to close, but only if you obey now. Type 999 if you're ready to break what was sealed without your consent. Archangel Michael says, "You thought it was just a photo. But what you didn't know is that the moment it was taken, it became a gate, a spiritual opening. Someone captured your image, but not to keep a memory. They used it as an offering. And in the realm of spirit, your face was placed on an altar that should have never known your name. This wasn't done in public. It didn't happen with ceremony or candles. No, this was done quietly, in the shadows, while you were smiling. Maybe it was someone you trusted, a friend, a family member, even someone who once said they loved you, but their heart carried a hidden bitterness, an envy disguised as kindness, and instead of confronting what they felt, they used you as currency. Yes, I said it. Currency. You have been traded in the realm of spirit. Your photo was used in a transaction, where your favor became someone else's breakthrough. Your sleep became their peace. Your clarity became their opportunity. This is why your sleep has been restless. This is why your phone has been ringing without anyone there. This is why your eyes keep waking at 3:17 a.m. Because heaven has been trying to warn you, trying to shake you awake. And now that I have your attention, I need you to understand this. They chose your photo because your face carries legacy. Your eyes carry authority. Your smile carries the imprint of generations who prayed for your breakthrough. And the enemy wanted to trade that power for counterfeit peace. But it will not stand. You felt the shift after it happened. Maybe you didn't name it, but your body knew. Your soul grieved quietly. You even said to yourself, "Why do I feel like something left me?" Because something did. But I have retrieved it. Yes, listen. I went into the places they placed your name. I found your image printed, spoken of, gazed upon by unclean eyes. And I tore it down. But spiritual damage leaves marks, and you must participate in the undoing. You must choose awareness. Because here's the danger. If you scroll, if you forget, if you delay, the void left by what was traded will begin to fill with confusion. That's why lately you've forgotten things. You've lost track of time. You've felt like you're floating through your days. That is not aging. That is spiritual fog created by stolen clarity. But I bring fire, the kind of fire that burns through manipulation, through dark prayers, through silent agreements. Let me tell you what I saw. I saw your photo laid beside a red cloth. I saw someone speak your name softly, not in reverence, but in claim, as if they had the right to define your future, as if they had permission to control how others see you. They do not. You belong to God. And no agreement made in secret holds more power than a truth revealed in light. Tonight, your photo is being reclaimed. Even as you read, your name is being called again in heaven. Even now your face is being re-etched into the walls of divine favor. But I need your spirit to be fully awake. Because the person who did this, they will try to come near again. But not with apologies. They'll come with false familiarity. Jokes, small talk, a message out of nowhere. Don't fall for it. Test their energy, discern the tone, watch their eyes, and listen for the one phrase they'll say that will sound too polished to be pure. You'll know it when you hear it. You'll feel it in your chest. That's me sounding the alarm. They may smile, but their spirit will twitch, because light has exposed their plan. You are not helpless. You are not bound. You are chosen. But now you must act like it. Say this now. Michael, I receive divine reversal. I cancel every spiritual agreement made without my consent. Good. Say it again. Your words matter. They undo what was whispered over your image. Now watch what happens in the next 72 hours. A name will resurface. A photo from the past will appear on a phone, a drawer, a feed, or in someone else's hands, and your spirit will feel it. When that happens, do not panic. That is the confirmation. And I, Michael, will be standing beside you when it happens. You have begun the reversal. The cycle is breaking. And ever since then, you've felt things shift. But you couldn't explain why. You've looked in the mirror and something felt different. You've walked into rooms and felt watched. You've had moments of sudden sadness, even when everything around you looked fine. Let me tell you, that wasn't random. That was residue, spiritual residue from the transaction. I, Archangel Michael, was not assigned to you by accident. I was dispatched because something sacred has been tampered with. And unless this is exposed, what was done in secret will begin to affect not just you, but those connected to your name. Listen closely. The photo was not just seen, it was spoken over. Words were declared. A false agreement was made. A declaration was uttered that said you would forget who you are, that your light would dim, that you would stop pursuing the truth. But I came to break every word spoken in darkness. Archangel Michael says, "Let me show you what happened after your photo was handed over." The exchange wasn't loud. It didn't involve candles or rituals you'd recognize. It was quiet, surgical, shadowy. But what was traded in that moment wasn't just your image. It was access. Access to your atmosphere. Access to your sleep. Access to your divine schedule. You see, when someone uses a picture in the spiritual realm, they aren't just admiring your face. They're attempting to tap into what surrounds you. Your joy, your calling, your spiritual inheritance. And in this case, they didn't ask permission. They placed your photo beside something personal, something from their own life, an item tied to jealousy, to brokenness, to hunger for what you carry. And in that transaction, they said to the spirit realm, "Take from them and give to me." And for a time it worked. They traded your peace, and for a while you couldn't rest. You lay awake with heaviness in your chest, praying but hearing silence. That wasn't God ignoring you. That was spiritual noise clouding the line. They traded your connections, divine friendships that suddenly went cold. Conversations that once flowed now filled with tension. Misunderstandings that made no sense. It was all part of the fog stirred by this transaction. They traded your voice, your ability to declare, to move, to decide. That's why your confidence started to feel shaky. Why doubt crept in, even when you knew what God said. And worst of all, they traded your name. In the spirit, your name was brought into a deal, a false contract. And for days, weeks, or maybe even months, someone else tried to wear what belonged to you. They wanted your glow. They wanted your protection. They wanted the favor you didn't even realize you had. But what they didn't understand is that favor is not transferable. You are not a costume. Your anointing is not for rent. Your destiny is not a commodity. They thought because you weren't fighting back, you were weak. But the whole time, heaven was preparing this very moment. You've been feeling the symptoms. Forgotten memories resurfacing. Nightmares that feel too real. A sudden sense of déjà vu when certain people speak. Old photos randomly appearing in your feed, your drawer, your dreams. Those are spiritual markers. Signs that what was traded is now being recalled. I, Michael, have been authorized to reverse the transaction, but you must understand what this means. It means some relationships will not survive the reversal. It means some invitations must be declined, because not all open doors are divine. It means some people will grow cold around you, not because you changed, but because their access is being revoked. This is divine protection. You are not cursed. You are being cleaned, and cleaning can feel like breaking. But I promise you, it's healing in disguise. I will reveal the person behind the exchange. Not through confrontation, but through confirmation. You'll hear their name whispered again, maybe in a conversation you overhear, a slip of the tongue, or even in a dream. Their name will be accompanied by a chill in your chest. That's not fear. That's discernment. Trust it. This is why I came. Not just to fight, but to warn. Because the spiritual transaction placed a delay on your timeline. Yes, your timeline was tampered with. Things that should have happened months ago were paused. Doors that were meant to open didn't. You weren't being punished. You were being targeted. But now, because you've stayed, because you've listened, the delay is being lifted. And with it comes acceleration. Mark this. Within 7 days, something that was denied will resurface. It may come through a resent email, a phone call from someone you haven't spoken to in years, an old opportunity suddenly available again. This is not a coincidence. This is divine recalibration. But be warned, the one who made the exchange may attempt to reconnect. They'll come with a smile. They'll say things like, "I was just thinking about you. I found an old photo of us. I don't know why, but I had to reach out." You'll feel the tension in your stomach when they do. That's your confirmation. Do not re-enter what God is removing. This moment is sacred, and if you're still reading, then you are the one heaven has chosen to restore. Say this now. I reject every spiritual exchange made with my image. I revoke access. I reclaim my peace, my timeline, and my name. Now type 444 in your spirit. That is the number of divine order. The exchange made in shadows is being undone in the light. I, Michael, stand beside you. Sword drawn. Atmosphere cleared. What was stolen is returning. And what was meant for harm will now be used to expose every counterfeit connection around you. Prepare your spirit. This reversal has begun. Do you remember those weeks where everything felt like it was falling apart? That random back pain, the sudden anxiety, the missed opportunity that slipped through your fingers for no clear reason? Those weren't coincidences. Those were symptoms of spiritual leakage. What was once sealed over your life began to unravel, not because you were weak, but because someone reached without permission. But hear me clearly. What they took was not lost forever, because heaven never forgets what was stolen. I saw it all. Every lie whispered about you, every candle lit in envy, every time your name was said with a crooked motive. And I stood silent, not because I was powerless, but because the divine court needed your attention. Until you become aware, what's stolen stays dormant. But now you are awake, and now I can act. Let me tell you what was traded. Archangel Michael says, I did not come quietly. When I saw what was done with your image, how your photo was laid before altars of confusion and envy, I stepped forward with flame in my eyes. You may think this is all metaphor, but I speak not in riddles, beloved. I speak in reality the spirit world has long concealed from you. Let me tell you exactly what happened. The moment your image was used to make a spiritual exchange, a gate opened. But I was already stationed nearby, watching. Because heaven knew, long before you saw this message, that someone would try to manipulate your light. They whispered your name while burning something unfamiliar. They didn't curse you directly. That would have been too obvious. They pretended to bless you. That is the oldest trick in the Book of Darkness. But I heard the lie behind the blessing. I saw their lips smile, but their spirit twist. And I roared. Yes, I roared, not because I was angry, but because heaven gave me the command. The strange reactions from people who once supported you? That wasn't coincidence. It was a signal. Your energy was being tampered with. Someone tried to replace you in a role heaven specifically gave to you. That's why I moved swiftly. I hovered over your house last night. Yes, last night. You thought the air felt strange. You thought the temperature shifted. You heard a sound in the hallway and dismissed it. That was not imagination. That was me. Sword drawn, wings spread, eyes glowing. Because when a child of destiny is under attack, heaven does not sleep. You prayed, God, if you are real, send help. I am your help. I have warred for you while you wept in silence, while you questioned your worth, while you buried your voice to keep the peace with people who only saw your light as a resource. But let me be clear. I am not just here to protect you from what was done. I am here to rebuild your spiritual perimeter. You've allowed too much access. People who drain you. Environments that choke your clarity. Conversations that disturb your rest. That ends tonight. As of this very moment, I place a line of fire around your name. Your image is no longer available in the spirit to those who traded it. It has been reclaimed. But this fire, it will do more than protect. It will reveal. In the next 48 hours, someone will slip. A conversation will be overheard. A text message will pop up by accident. A name will be mentioned twice in places it shouldn't be. Pay attention. That is your confirmation. And when it comes, you will feel the hair rise on your arm. Your spirit will go still. That is not fear. That is me, pressing into your discernment. Do not confront in anger. Do not chase explanations. Do not beg to be understood. Just observe. Their guilt will speak louder than your voice ever could. They are not ready for who you've become since I stepped in. Let me tell you something sacred. At 3 a.m. a few nights ago, I was permitted to enter your dreams. Yes, that strange, vivid moment, the light, the staircase, the voice you almost heard clearly, that was me. You were being warned. And now, I'm telling you plainly, you are no longer who you were before your image was stolen. You have been upgraded in the spirit. What does this mean? Your discernment will grow stronger. Your emotions may shift quickly. Don't panic. That's your spirit rejecting hidden danger. Certain people will feel distant suddenly. That's not your loss. That's their exposure. Let them go. Don't cling to what heaven is evacuating. The angelic interception is not just about stopping something. It's about announcing something. Heaven is announcing that the gates around you are closing to the counterfeit and opening to the divine. You will receive a divine visitor soon. No, not a winged figure, but someone with a voice from heaven. They will say something strange, but it will echo a sentence you once whispered in prayer years ago. And when you hear it, you will know. That is your sign. Say this now. Michael, I receive your protection. I accept the separation. I align with what heaven has exposed. Good. Your yes activates the circle of fire. It activates the next phase. Listen closely now. I am sharpening your ears. Your image has been reclaimed. Your gates have been sealed. And your path has been cleared. Do not go back to sleep. Your obedience now determines your atmosphere for the next 9 months. Yes, 9 months. The time of spiritual gestation. What is born during this window will not be a repeat. It will be resurrection. And I will not leave your side. You have been intercepted. You are being restored. And heaven has already whispered your name at the gates. We are watching who you become next. Protect the inheritance. You are the inheritance, not just of your ancestors, but of promises written before you were even born. You don't understand the depth of what was at stake. If I hadn't intercepted when I did, your life would have been rerouted for years. Your relationships would have twisted into imitations. Your peace would have been replaced by noise disguised as opportunity. But I shattered the false altar. Yes, I struck it down with fire. The cloth it sat on burned. The object they paired with your image split in two. The whispers silenced. And then I carried the ashes back to the courts of heaven and declared, "This one is covered." But my fight didn't end there. Because just as I moved to intervene, so did the ones who gained from your delay. You don't know them yet, but you've felt their pull. The confusion in certain conversations? That wasn't just personality. It was spiritual static. Archangel Michael says, "Now that you know what was done, now that you've seen what I've shattered, the question remains, will you finish what I've started? Because I can intercept, I can expose, I can shield your atmosphere, but I cannot force your alignment. That's your part. And if you don't take it seriously, if you treat this like a fascinating story instead of a divine assignment, the reversal will stall. Not because heaven has changed its mind, but because you hesitated when you were supposed to move. So listen, child of fire. Here is the key to reversal. Your voice. Yes. It starts with you opening your mouth and renouncing what was spiritually agreed upon without your knowledge. They used your image to forge a counterfeit deal. Now you must speak light to revoke it. Say this now, loud, firm, unshaken. Then anoint it. Oil, water, even just breath mixed with prayer, and place it under light. Yes, light. Because what was done in shadows must now be exposed. The reversal requires light. Let me tell you what happens when you do this. You may feel chills. You may feel heat. You may even feel nothing. But in the spirit, I am moving. I will begin retrieving what was taken. The joy you haven't felt in weeks. The clarity that once guided your decisions. The favor that felt stuck. It will begin to return, but not all at once. Step by step, day by day, vision by vision. Because heaven doesn't just restore, heaven reorders. And here is the next instruction. You must speak over your reflection. Yes, your own face. Because your image has been used without reverence, you must now reclaim it with honor. Every day for the next 3 days, look in the mirror and say, "This face is divine. This name is covered. This voice breaks cycles. I am who heaven says I am." It may feel awkward. Do it anyway, because this reversal is not about comfort. It's about warfare. And spiritual warfare often requires repetition. Do not skip a day. Now hear me. After these 3 days, watch your dreams. One of them will reveal who orchestrated the exchange. Don't expect a clear face, but you will feel it. Someone will show up in your dream space, and their words will feel too pointed to be random. That is your exposure. You will then receive a call, a message, or an invitation from them or someone spiritually connected to them. Do not go. This is not a social test. This is a spiritual snare. They will sound calm, polite, even curious. But underneath, there is a hunger, a pulling, an attempt to reconnect to what I have already cut. Say this internally. I know who you are now. I am no longer available for this assignment. And then watch what happens. Their demeanor will shift. Their energy will falter. They may even lash out or disappear completely. Let them. Don't mourn what's been exposed. Rejoice, because exposure is your promotion in disguise. Now, this last instruction is critical. You must bless your future. Yes, even before you see it. Speak into the next 9 months of your life like they are already blooming. The next 9 months will carry the fruit of what the last season tried to steal. I will not miscarry my calling. I will not miss my visitation. The divine reversal is complete. Child, you've made it. The reversal is not just symbolic. It is legal. It is binding. In the courts of heaven, the chains tied to your image have been snapped. The altars have been dismantled. The counterfeit inheritance has been revoked. But the best part? Your real inheritance is now released. Over the next few weeks, you will receive unexpected favor. A forgotten person will reappear with a word that makes everything click. A door once slammed shut will creak open again. A financial provision will come from a source you didn't expect. This is not luck. This is the fruit of reversal. Say this now. I receive it. I reclaim it. I protect it. And seal it with a number. Type 777. If you believe the door of restoration has opened, because it has. And I, Michael, stand by it, sword drawn, wings stretched, eyes fixed. Nothing shall reverse this reversal. By divine authority, I cancel every spiritual agreement made with my image. I am not property. I am not a vessel of exchange. I belong to the Lord. What was taken must be returned. What was broken must be rebuilt. I call back what is mine, sevenfold. Yes, sevenfold. That number wasn't picked for beauty. It is covenantal. It means complete restoration. Now take this deeper. I need you to move through your house tonight. Quietly, reverently. This is not a superstition. This is strategy. Go to the places where you've kept old photos. Yes, those boxes, those shelves, that drawer. Because in one of those places, something remains connected to the spiritual breach. An item, a letter, a copy of that very image that was stolen. And while the picture itself isn't evil, the attachment to it has become a point of access. When you find it, don't panic. Hold it in your hand and declare, you will no longer carry false access. I cleanse you by the blood of the Lamb and the fire of the angels. Archangel Michael says, so now you know the truth. Your photo was used in a spiritual transaction, but your obedience to stay, to read, to receive, has altered everything. You are not cursed. You are not abandoned, but you were marked. And now, by divine authority, that mark has been broken. Still, this is the moment of no return, because the doors I've opened through this message will not remain open forever. There are some windows in the spirit that only appear once. This is one of them. You've wondered why certain things felt stolen from your life. You've whispered, why do I feel like something changed after that picture was taken? After that moment? After that visit? You were right. But now, heaven has spoken, and I was sent to be your witness, your sword, your signal. The transaction made with your image is undone. But the transaction heaven now offers you must be sealed with response. If you stay silent, the reversal weakens. If you scroll away, the restoration slows. So this is your final instruction. Say out loud with your whole being, I am reclaimed. I am unavailable to darkness. I am covered by angelic protection. And if you've read to this point, then this was your message. Not a coincidence. Not just content. A visitation. Your face has been restored. Your name has been rewritten in light. And now I stand beside you, sword drawn, eyes blazing, declaring before all creation, no transaction made in secret will succeed against the one who walks in revelation. Type 777 if you refuse to be used in silence ever again. Michael is still watching, and your reversal is now complete.